Hello and good evening, and welcome to the Tuesday edition of The Shed. Hashtag Irish Blues Mafia with me, Trevor. You're very welcome along to the show. It's week 6 review, and it's my last show before I go to Buffalo on Sunday. Well, I'm going on Thursday, but for the game Sunday against the Tennessee Titans. So I'm very excited, really getting to me now, and nervous and excited, but really looking forward to it. And I cannot wait for it. This evening's show, I'm going to talk about the week 6 games, how they went. I'm going to talk about our victory last night against the New York Jets. And then we have a bit of news that broke just before I came on the show. Adam Scheffner released a bit of news about the Bills signing a wide receiver. And Devante Adams picked us home today, and we'll talk about that as the show goes on. So I'll start tonight talking about the week 6 games. And we start last Thursday night with the San Francisco 49ers at the Seattle Seahawks. Now, this is a game that was very important to both teams. 49ers more so because there's a lot expected of them. They are without Christian McCaffrey, and they were 2-3 going into it. Whereas the Seattle Seahawks really should have been 4-1, but gave it away to the New York Giants last weekend. And it was in Seattle, and I thought that they would put up a performance, and they did. But Brock Purdy led San Francisco 49ers got the job done. And I think a lot of credit has to be given to Brock Purdy. And I'm a big fan of Brock Purdy's because he doesn't get the credit he deserves. He was picked at the end of a draft for the sake of picking the player, maybe, who knows. But this guy has worked so hard, has earned his place, has brought a team to an NFC Championship game in his very first year, got injured, came back from his injury, brought his team to the Super Bowl, probably should have won the Super Bowl, but it wasn't on him. And he's come back this year without Christian McCaffrey. And Christian McCaffrey is one of the best players in the NFL. And in fairness, they're doing okay. So they were without Deebo Samuel. He's come back. George Kittle had a bit of injury. He's come back, and George Kittle is playing very well. And I just think Brock Purdy now deserves the credit because every quarterback that has a good team has a good backup system, as in wide receiver, tight ends, running backs. And he's no different. And they are a very good team. And in fairness, San Francisco 49ers now are back on 500, 3-3. So they can now move on and go forward. Seahawks, well, they should be happy enough at the start of their season. Geno Smith is the new head coach, new system. And it's going to take time to bed in. And they're still 3-3. They're matching the 49ers. So there's not a lot in the difference. So they should be pretty positive too as the games goes on. Then the first game on Sunday was in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It was the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Chicago Bears. Now, this is the Jaguars' second game, the first game of 2 in England. Next weekend is in Wembley. And they're a team in big trouble. The Bears blew them out. I didn't think it would happen. I thought after their victory against the Colts the weekend before that Trevor Lawrence and co would kick on and Doug Peterson would lead this team to the promised land of challenging in their division and see could they get to playoffs. But no, it's not to be. They were blown out of it by Caleb Williams and co. And the Bears now are 4-2. The Jaguars are 1-5. And I think Doug Peterson's body language, on the sideline and in interviews is saying, well, I think the end is coming for him as the head coach there. Now, you would know there could be a turnaround, but I very much doubt it at the minute. Then we had a cracker between the Washington Commanders, 4-1, and the Ravens, who are 3-2. The Ravens won 30 points to 23, but Jalen Daniels didn't look out of place. Neither did the Commanders. Terry McLaurin had a brilliant game. But in fairness, Lamar Jackson is really stepping up this year. And last year, where I wasn't happy that he got MVP, to this point this year, he is in line with himself and Josh Allen and one or two more for MVP. And if it's a thing he continues on this form with the Ravens and he gets it, I will have no qualms the way he's playing. Derrick Henry has made a huge addition to their team. Zay Flowers is playing out of his skin. And the Ravens, from a 0-2 start, are really starting to tick now and get into gear. And their team we're going to have to watch. The Commanders had look at, if you said after 6 games with the Commanders they'd be 4-2, they would be delighted. Especially Dan Quinn's first season as head coach with a brand new rookie quarterback. They're flying, and they're a team that will get to the playoffs, I would say, and who knows what will happen after that. Then we had the Arizona Cardinals at the Green Bay Packers. The Packers won 34-13. Jordan Love played well. The Packers played well, but the Packers defense really shut down the Cardinals. Now, Marvin Harrison Jr. did get injured. We don't know how serious his injury is as of now. But in saying that, the Packers did deserve to win and got their victory, and they are now 4-2. The Cardinals now have slipped to 2-4, and it's, is this going to be just another year where they just tick along? We will see. Then we had the Houston Texans at the New England Patriots, and the Texans won 41-21. This game was never in doubt. Drake May did play well for the Patriots for his first game in. It was a very hard game to come into, and by all means, as a rookie on your first game in mid-season to come in, he played well. CJ Stroud looked good. Joe Nixon is back for them at running back. He's just a totally different animal for them and gives them so much different options. Stephon Diggs got his touchdown. Tank Dell played well. They're missing Nico Collins, but you have Joe Nixon back, you're going to plow on. And in fairness, the Texans are looking good at the minute. The sad thing is what we left behind us last week, but we'll move on. Then we had a game that, well, you could call the victor, but you couldn't call how much they would win by. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the New Orleans Saints. Excuse me. The Buccaneers won 51-27, and Baker Mayfield has set a standard down there now that they want to win. Chris Evans played well. Godwin played well. Irvin, I think, is the running back. The rookie, he was outstanding. The New Orleans Saints had Spencer Rattler at quarterback, and for the first half, he played very well. But when the pressure came on, the Buccaneers defense stepped up. The Buccaneers offense stepped up. The New Orleans Saints had nothing to offer. They're now 2-4 when they started the season, 2-0. The Buccaneers have moved on to 4-2 and really look like they're going to challenge the Falcons in that division. Then we had the Cleveland Browns against the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles won 20 points to 16. The Browns are 1-5. If you take away what Myles Garrett did when he blocked down the field goal and they got a touchdown from it, this was a pathetic Browns team. But then you look at the Eagles, and their own head coach is having discussions with their own fans, and it doesn't look good. And I don't think they were happy with how they played against a poor Cleveland's Brown team. So both head coaches there, for different reasons, are under pressure, even though one did win. Then we had the Indianapolis Colts go to the Titans, and Joe Flacco led the Colts to a 20 points to 17 win. It wasn't that comprehensive or bossing or anything like that, but it was a divisional game, and the Titans did put it up, and Will Levis put it up. And one thing I hope from the game this weekend is that it's a good game, that it's a tight game to a point. I want the Bills to win, of course, because being there, you do want to see them get a win and see Josh Allen get a victory and move on. But you also want to see the Titans play. You don't want it to be a blowout, and it could be a blowout this weekend coming, but time will tell. But last Sunday, they did put it up to the Colts, but the Colts got the victory. Then we had the Los Angeles Chargers at the Denver Broncos. The Chargers won 23 points to 16. There was an issue at the start of the game with Jim Harbaugh where he went off sick. He reckoned it was altitude sickness. I hope he's okay. Justin Herbert did lead the Chargers to a victory, but it wasn't what you would call very comprehensive. Now, they are 3-2, and the Broncos are 3-3 because they've already had a bye. But the Chargers are a team now that are setting themselves up to challenge for a playoff place. The Broncos, their last 3 or 4 games haven't been great. They've got victories all right, but they're like the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're limping over the line rather than driving over the line. But we'll see now how the future goes. But Bo Nix did get a bit of an eye-opener last weekend. Then we had the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Las Vegas Raiders. Anthony O'Connell started quarterback for the Raiders this weekend. Justin Fields was quarterback. The Steelers won 32 points to 13. They were dominant in defense. They were dominant in offense. It wasn't a brilliant offensive performance, but they did enough to get the victory. I heard stories today on ESPN that Mike Tomlin was interviewed and asked, now who's his starting quarterback? And he wouldn't give an answer. Both of them are starting quarterbacks, Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. If you're Justin Fields and you have your team at 4-2, you'd be going, hey, boss, it's my job to lose. Give me a chance. Where Russell Wilson will be saying, well, let me in and let me see. If I was a Steelers fan, out of the two of them, I would be wanting Justin Fields, but I'm not a Steelers fan, so I don't care. As for the Raiders, I don't know, is Anthony O'Connell the quarterback over Gardner Minshew? I know he had the best of starts, but I don't know. Devante Adams is gone now, so they're really struggling for someone to hit. Then we had the Atlanta Falcons at the Carolina Panthers. The Falcons won 38 points to 20. They had a field day. The Panthers did put it up to them a small bit. Andy Dalton is a better quarterback and will get some victories for this team during the season than Bryce Young. I just think Bryce Young needs a year to sit back now, relax, learn, and then maybe take his chance. But Kirk Cousins is doing a good job. The Falcons now are 4-2. They're tied with the Buccaneers at 4-2 in that division. The Panthers are 1-5, and themselves and the Patriots are, looking at who's going to get first pick, and the Jags. Don't forget the Jags. So then, probably not a shock in the scoreline, or not the scoreline, the result, but a very big shock in the scoreline. The Detroit Lions destroyed the Dallas Cowboys on Jerry Jones's birthday in Dallas, 47 points to 9. The Lions absolutely lit them up, offensive, defense. The only thing that happened wrong for the Lions is Aiden Hutchinson is out for the season. He had an injury, he's been operated on, and I think it's the season ender as far as I know for the minute. I wish him well. He was playing awesome. He was up there for Defensive Player of the Year as of the first 6 game weeks. It's a pity that he's going to miss the rest of the season from it. As for the Cowboys, I don't know what to say. I'm not a Cowboys fan. 9 points at home. They've played 3 games at home this season and lost all 3. Something is really wrong there. But good luck to them. Then we had the Sunday night game, which was a bit of a yawn fest from what I heard. I didn't sit up and watch it. I seen a bit of the highlights. The Cincinnati Bengals beat the Giants 17-7. The Giants now are 2-4, and the Bengals are 2-4. But I'd rather be a Bengals fan with Joe Burrow than a Giants fan with Daniel Jones. It's enough said on that. And then we get to our Monday night game, where the Buffalo Bills went to the New York Jets. A lot of people had the Jets tipped to win. We had lost 2 games in a row. Against the Texans, we should have won it. We didn't win it. But our offensive performance was bad, very bad. Last night's game wasn't for, the first half was pretty exciting. It was 20 points, 17 to the Bills at halftime. But both teams only registered a field goal in the second half. So it was more of a grind than it was, brilliant play. But the most important thing is we got the win. And where it sets us up is we're 4-2. That's firstly. The Jets are 2-4. There are 2 games behind us on that number. We also beat the Jets, so that's an extra game. So we're 3 games technically ahead of the Jets at the minute. So it puts us in the driving seat for the AFC East, and we have to continue to stay there and keep going. Last night's offensive performance was an awful lot better. Josh Allen had 19 out of 25. He's threw for 215 yards, threw for 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. That's 6 games so far, 0 interceptions. Touch wood. Good man, Josh. Brilliant. He rushed 9 times, 18 yards. He had a rushing touchdown, an average of 2 yards a rush. Then, Ray Davis. There was no James Cook last night through injury. Ray Davis really stood up. He had 20 rushing attempts for 97 yards at almost 5 yards a rush. He also had 3 out of 3 receiving passes for 55 yards, including one huge one where Josh Allen just did Josh Allen stuff. Keon Coleman had 3 from 4. Matt Collins had 1 from 2, got a touchdown. Dalton Kincaid had 6 from 7. He was 2 from 6 last week, as was Matt Collins, for 51 yards. Played very well. Curtis Samuel, first time he played playing well this year. Hopefully he moves on. He got 3 from 4 for 44 yards. Kahil Shakir, 2 from 2, coming back from injury. Excellent as per usual. And Dawson Knox had 1 from 1 for a touchdown. So our offense played very well. We had an interception from Taron Johnson, and we had 3 sacks, 2 from AJ Epinesa and 1 from Daquan Jones. So from that side of the field and our defense, we played very well. Keeping the Jets to 20 points with the offense that they have, or the so-called offense they have, is also very good. My one concern is Tyler Bass. He was 1 from 2 from field goals, and he was only 2 from 3 from extra points. Now that's 4 points, and in a tight game like that, that's huge. We go to the Jets, where Josh Allen was 19 from 25. Aaron Rodgers was 23 from 35. He threw for 2 touchdowns, 294 yards passing, but had 1 interception. One of the touchdowns was a Hail Mary to Alan Lazard. Well done, Alan Lazard, for getting it, but it should have been knocked away. These are things we learn from. Can't let teams get Hail Marys. Garrett Wilson scored the other touchdown, but again, no more than our kicker having trouble. Their kicker, Greg Zerline, also missed 2 field goals. So if you did add on their 2 field goals, that was 6 points, and our 4 points, we still would have won 27-26. So I'm happy enough. I'm not bothered about running away from teams. I want to be like the Chiefs in a way that you're playing, you're winning, and you're learning. Because the Chiefs are doing it every week, and they're moving on, and they are improving. We really flew out the gates, and we blew the Jacksonville Jaguars away, and then we hit a bump. And it was a big bump, but now the bump is over. We need to just take a game at a time. We beat a divisional rival in their home stadium. We got that to our name. It wasn't perfect, it wasn't brilliant, but it was a lot better than the previous 2 weeks. Now we move on to Tennessee Titans this weekend, and we take another step forward from there, and that's my view on it. They're the review of the games, folks. The competition, and I will update everything to the competitors. I have everything kept down. Please, it'll be probably next week before you get score lines, but I have them all done, so please keep putting them in. But for myself, out of the 14 games, I got 13 correct. I'm pretty stoked with that. I think it's the highest I've ever done. But I had a few bad weeks, so I needed to catch up a bit. Now, for new news. So just before this evening, before I put on the video, I was just reading some stuff, and ESPN, Adam Schefter, has announced that Amri Cooper from the Cleveland Browns wide receiver has signed for the Buffalo Bills. So welcome aboard, Amri Cooper. The Browns get a 3rd pick in 2025 and a 7th round pick. Sorry, I should say that again. A 3rd round pick in 2025 and a 7th round pick in 2026. We get Amri Cooper, and we get a 6th round pick in 2025 from the Browns. So I think a good deal done by all. Amri Cooper he wasn't happy at the Cleveland Browns, and if you Deshaun Watson thrown to in the form he's in, then you wouldn't be happy either. He might take a week or 2 to gel and get into things, but Amri Cooper will have Josh Allen thrown. If he can't catch balls, then he's in trouble. But welcome aboard, Amri. We're happy you're here. The other bit of news is Devante Adams. Devante Adams today signed for the Jets, and which is nothing, too surprising there. He's gone back with Aaron Rodgers. I was just watching the Pat McAfee show this evening, and the next thing I seen up in it that Aaron Rodgers was on a Tuesday evening with Pat McAfee. Next thing there was Devante Adams with him. So this was well in the pipeline before the weekend. How will he fit in there? Time will tell. Everyone thinks that it's going to be like Green Bay. You forget that Aaron Rodgers has moved on in years and teams, and Devante Adams moved to a different team. It didn't work for him, and now he's coming back, and he's no younger either. How will Garrett Wilson at the New York Jets take this? Will he improve, or will he get worse? As in, I don't mean worse, as in will get less, targets and balls played to him. or will he thrive from this? Only time will tell. If I was a Jets fan, yes, it's good news, happy news, but will it get them to win the division, or will it get them to a Super Bowl or AFC Championship game? Time will tell. I still like Aaron Rodgers, so I really don't care. And the last thing about last night's game that I really enjoyed was seeing Jason Kelsey. Jason Kelsey for me is a legend. I know he's a Philadelphia fan, but when he was at the game when the Buffalo Bills played the Kansas City Chiefs last January in the playoffs, he really enjoyed his time in Buffalo. And in fairness, last night he really enjoyed himself again, and he dressed up in the Buffalo Bills colours. And characters like that you need in football. You understand he's an Eagles fan. That's his team. He loves them. But it's also nice to see him get out and mingle with other fans and enjoy it. And he has a connection now with the Bills. And I liked him before. I like him more now. So well done, Jason. So, folks, that's my video for tonight. I won't be doing one on Thursday night. I will put my picks up online when I get to America for the Thursday night game and for the weekend, just so everyone is clear. I don't put all those picks up. I do take them in for the competition, but just to see who I'm going to go for this weekend. And probably my next video will be, well, I'm doing one in America on the Saturday night at the Irish Buffalo Centre, and I'm looking forward to that. But I probably won't be talking about the games until I come home from America next Wednesday. So it'll be probably Thursday, the following week, before I have a video up again. But I will be putting up stuff on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook. So please, if you want to contact me, ask me questions, or see what I'm doing and how it's going and the whole lot, follow and message me, and I'll reply to everyone I can. I'm absolutely, belly is jumping with nerves and excitement and the whole lot, and can't wait to get there and meet Kate and Mark and all the other people that have been so grateful, and I'm so grateful to them, and bringing me over there and putting me up and getting things organized for me and bring me to the game. And it's going to be an experience that, please God, a happy experience that I'll never forget and will enjoy for the rest of my life. And I'm so grateful to them people, so thank you very much. So until my next video, whenever that is in the next week, if I have the energy to do one myself before I come back on the Tuesday, I will. But if not, we'll do it till Thursday week. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your support as always. If I see anyone that's watching this in Buffalo, please say hello at the weekend. Until the next one, as always, stay safe, stay happy, stay together, and go Bills.